Even global icons weren't immune to the power circles behind the music industry. Now 50 Cent is raising eyebrows again, this time hinting at deeper connections between Oprah Winfrey and Diddy. Rumors surrounding Diddy's past have already shaken the culture, but the conversation is expanding. Questions are resurfacing about powerful alliances, elite networks, and what really went on behind closed doors. As old footage and past controversies get re-examined, the public is asking, how deep do these industry ties really go?
This is very important because throughout the years, Black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice. It's been, the record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the Black artists.
Yeah. Now let me say this.
Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very devilish.
We're listening to Mike right now. Obviously, you know, this is a really sad time right now, but we're celebrating his life. Your thoughts right now on the situation and the timing of this tragedy?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he just somebody that changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Somebody I'll always love and trust.
Michael Jackson was undeniably one of the most powerful and influential figures the music industry has ever seen. But with that level of fame came relentless controversy. Even after his 2005 acquittal, allegations continued to follow his legacy, keeping the public divided for years. When Oprah Winfrey later interviewed his accusers in connection with leaving Neverland, it reignited intense debate among fans and critics alike. Supporters of Jackson argued that the legal system had already examined the claims and found him not guilty, while others believed the conversation about accountability was still necessary. The situation became less about one documentary and more about how media influence, public perception, and celebrity power shaped narratives long after courtrooms close. Decades later, the discussion around Michael Jackson remains one of the most polarizing cultural debates in modern entertainment history.
Find out the person you love is a monster. Like you sharing this information with me even about Michael Jackson. Like, I don't want to believe you. I want to say it's the media. I want to say Oprah. Like, I want to say all of these things.
People were mad at Oprah.
I'm mad at Oprah.
You're mad at Oprah.
Yes. Yeah. Because I think the young Black boy who loved Michael Jackson wanted to be like, I don't want it to be true. I don't want, and I'm like, even, and that, again, it goes back to like, damn, are we just turning a blind eye because we had so much love for his talent and his ability?
Well, you said, where's the Surviving Harvey Weinstein documentary?
Yeah.
And there are actually like 2 of those coming.
No, but in that statement, the reason why I made that, and it like people, like you can read into it however you want to make.
Oprah appeared alongside Michael on national TV, projecting warmth and friendship. But every interview seemed to carry a sharp edge, and critics argue that she repeatedly questioned his choices and persona in ways that felt disrespectful. Even as Michael's skin condition was widely known, some viewers felt her comments undermined him and highlighted differences instead of offering understanding. To many fans, it seemed that behind the smiles and laughs, every public discussion about him contained subtle digs and critiques that painted him in a negative light, turning moments meant to celebrate his talent into opportunities for scrutiny and controversy.
Just recently, there was a story, and I know one of your attorneys held a news conference. There was a story about you wanting to have a little white boy play you in a Pepsi commercial.
That is so stupid. That's the most ridiculous, horrifying story I've ever heard. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why? Number one, it's my face as a child in the commercial. Me when I was little. Why would I want a white child to play me? I'm a Black American. I'm proud to be a Black American. I am proud of my race. I am proud of who I am. I have a lot of pride in who I am and dignity. That's like you wanting an Oriental person to play you as a child. Does that make sense?
No.
So please, people, stop believing these
Michael,
horrifying
then
stories.
let's go.
Okay, number one, this is the situation.
Yes.
I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help. Okay, but when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So it is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it. Okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, sometime after Thriller. Around Off the Wall Thriller. Sometime
And what did you
around
think? I mean,
It's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad.
Oprah brought renewed attention to the allegations against Michael long after his 2005 acquittal, sparking outrage among fans who felt his name had already been cleared in court. Many questioned why such a high-profile platform would revisit claims that had been legally dismissed, and critics argued that it risked reshaping his legacy in the public eye. For viewers, it raised larger questions about media responsibility, the power of celebrity narratives, and how easily public perception can be influenced, leaving Michael's story caught between courtroom facts and the court of public opinion.
For me, this moment transcends Michael Jackson. It is much bigger than any one person.
Oprah Winfrey opened up about her decision to speak to Michael Jackson's accusers for her After Neverland special when she stopped by The Daily Show on Wednesday night. Last month, Winfrey made headlines when she sat down with Michael Jackson accusers for Oprah Winfrey Presents After Neverland, which aired on HBO following the explosive documentary about the singer titled Leaving Neverland.
If they ever found out what we were doing, he and I would go to jail.
Winfrey said of her decision to do the special, "I haven't had that much hateration since I did the puppy episode with Ellen DeGeneres, aka the episode in which DeGeneres came out as gay." The talk show host continued, "But when I saw that documentary, I realized that a lot of people are going to be triggered by watching it, and a lot of people will not understand what the pattern is." Winfrey explained, "People call it molestation, but there is a big seducing that goes on, and that was important enough for me to take the hateration for."
Just listen to how Oprah talks about Michael. To many fans, her words felt calculated and cutting, especially given the power she wields in Hollywood and the music industry. Supporters of Michael argued that every comment and segment seemed designed to challenge his image, casting shadows over the legacy of one of pop music's biggest icons. For decades, Michael resisted being controlled by the industry's most influential figures, and critics saw this as a clash of power, influence, and narrative control, with the media shaping perception in ways that some fans believe were unfair and relentless.
She's been getting a lot of hate. Some of the tweet hate that Oprah's been getting, if karma is real, Oprah, after you are laid to rest, which is, I hope, many years from now, people will come out of the woodwork and lie on you, betray you, smear your name the way they're doing Michael Jackson, and the people that you let in your inner circle will lead the way. Oprah, you are disgusting, a cheap mercenary.
Ooh. The reason the idea of Michael Jackson or any major person committing sexual abuse against children challenges so many people is because in every family, you have to face that some things are not the way they appear to be. And what people need to accept in their own families is that people can do good things, they can be loving and helpful, and also be an abuser and a person who does bad things. Both can be true. And we are experiencing this paradox as a reckoning in our country every day in the news, where both things can be true.
Yeah, she's right about that. Both things can be true. You can have somebody who appears to be very nice in the front and be evil behind closed doors.
Oprah's past connections to some of Hollywood's most infamous figures have long sparked debate, and critics point out how quickly narratives can shift when scandals break. Once the public spotlight hit, her relationship with controversial industry figures seemed to vanish from the conversation, leaving fans questioning consistency and motives. For many observers, it looked like a masterclass in image control, someone who wields enormous influence and can shape stories while deflecting scrutiny, all while the careers and reputations of others hang in the balance.
Days after Oprah publicly supported victims of sexual assault in the wake of numerous allegations against Harvey Weinstein, singer Seal Instagrammed this meme, showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul. It reads, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution."
Give me love. Please welcome Seal!
The 54-year-old who's appeared on Oprah's show captioned his post, "Oh, I forgot, that's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young starry-eyed actresses. My bad." While Weinstein maintains his innocence, Seal hasn't commented further, and Oprah has not responded.
This moment is a really powerful time for everybody to get woke.
Fans have come to her defense, pointing out Winfrey is a sexual assault survivor. They also posted pics of Seal's ex, Heidi Klum, kissing Weinstein.
Is it really just a coincidence that Oprah has been linked to some of the most infamous scandals in Hollywood? Time and again, people point to her connections and question how she could publicly condemn certain crimes while her name repeatedly surfaces around controversy. Fans and critics alike ask the hard questions. Why were these relationships formed in the first place? And what does it say about influence, power, and the stories we're told? Whether it's Harvey, Epstein, or Diddy, the pattern fuels intense debate, leaving the public wondering how much of the image we see is reality and how much is carefully controlled narrative.
Already, but you haven't kind of spoken yet publicly about what's going on.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. I happened to be on set with several actresses the other day, and we were filming some things, and they hadn't slept over a period of 2 or 3 days, and I was like, what is that? I said, oh, you guys are suffering from PTSD.
And when you start talking about it out loud, too.
Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And so I think this is a watershed moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, there have been women who not only had the disease to please, that's a part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, in order to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I got to pretend he didn't say that, I got to pretend he didn't touch me. I think those days are about to be over.
Are over. And if it happens to you back in the day, you would say, sometimes you're not even aware what he just said wasn't really inappropriate.
I know you've had a couple moments.
Where you just think, what did he just say?
Yes, I remember Gail had a moment when she came and said to me what somebody said that was so inappropriate. I was like, oh my God, you can sue over that. But
no, and all I said was, what did you say? And then they repeated it.
Yes.
It's terrible. I just sat there typing with my 20-something-year-old.
You pretend you didn't hear it.
Yes.
You pretend it's okay. You pretend you didn't.
No, it isn't. You're right, Jeff. You're absolutely right.
But a lot of women have been silenced, and I know.
But I do think it's going to change.
Being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too.
Yeah. So, and you've been speaking about it for
years.
Oprah's influence in the entertainment industry is undeniable, and for decades, fans and critics have debated how money and power shape relationships with artists. Some observers argue that offers of huge sums can come with hidden expectations, and turning them down can spark public mockery or pressure, as in the case of Dave Chappelle, who famously refused a massive deal. To many, it looked like a calculated game of influence, rewarding compliance and punishing independence, and the dynamics of these high-stakes deals are only now becoming clearer. The stories of billion-dollar empires, shocking deals, and celebrity power struggles reveal an industry where money and control are deeply intertwined, and where resisting the system can come at a personal and professional cost.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No. Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Comedian Dave Chappelle left tens of millions of dollars on the table when he walked away from his popular Comedy Central show. A lot of people wondered what the hell was he thinking? And that's a quote. Chappelle says whether he was thinking. A lot of people ask that question. Chappelle says he had a crisis of conscience and stood up for his integrity as an artist. He explained to us how stepping out of the spotlight helped him avoid getting caught in a trap.
It's so much bigger than money, though, Dave. It's so much bigger than money.
Oh, no, it was bigger than money. But you know what? I watched one of these nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently, baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt. Salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out of the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. The bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
Isn't that a great analogy?
What an analogy.
Guys? I know. He's very, very thoughtful and very, very smart.
Because you know he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein. He was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z, we the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff, but you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward and say, I support him.
Diddy's rise and fall, Oprah's controversial past, and Hollywood's darkest secrets are all coming to light. And the truth is shocking. 50 Cent has been calling it out for years, and now more people are starting to see what's really been happening behind the scenes. The walls are closing in on those who thought they were untouchable, and the industry itself is starting to crack under the pressure. The big question is, who's next? Stay tuned because the story isn't over. It's only getting wilder from here. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next explosive reveal.